Hello, this is Dana, and this is Petey, and this is Lesson 3, the Gospel. In the beginning, God created the world, and it was perfect. God was with his creation. We were in the presence of our Creator, and there was no death. We had everything we could need. And of course, people didn't think that was good enough. So sin entered the world. Sin is doing what God does not want you to do. But that's exactly what we as people end up doing. So when sin entered the world, it became broken. Now, we try to repair this brokenness with various things. I mean, it doesn't take much to look around us and see the death and decay that the world is under, just the hardships, the sorrows. Just think of your problems and everybody else's, and it's overwhelming and sad. We live in a broken world, and we try to repair this with various things that we know are wrong, like abusing drugs, things that we think might be good goals, like focusing on a career. Things that we think are actually really good, like focusing on family. But none of these things fix the brokenness. They provide temporary relief. They might provide a lot of happiness, but it's all temporary. It doesn't repair the brokenness. There's still so many other things that are going wrong in our lives and the lives of others. But thankfully, God knew that this was going to happen. He knew sin was going to enter. He knew we were going to be cast out of his presence, that we were going to be separated from him eternally, and that we were going to feel this emptiness, this brokenness within us. So he knew this was going to happen, and so he created a way. Even before he created the earth, he had a plan. And his plan was to come down from his throne in heaven as Jesus. He lived a life, a perfect life that we could never live. He lived a sinless life. Then he died a death that we deserve on a cross. But he didn't stay dead. He was resurrected. He rose again to new life. This is called the gospel. And gospel means good news. This is good news. It is good news that God came down from his throne, lived for us, died for us, and rose for us. Because that means that we also don't have to stay dead. We can raise again to new life. So when you turn from the brokenness and you trust in the gospel, in what Jesus did for us, turn and trust in the gospel, then you are free to follow God again. We are put back in the presence of God. Our relationship with him is restored. We're no longer cast out. We may still live in this world, but we're no longer of this world. We are a new creation. We raise back to life with Jesus. Now, I want to ask you, where are you here? Are you in the presence of God? Have you accepted the gospel? Or are you still in this brokenness? If you're here, if you haven't experienced the gospel and what Jesus can do for your life, what is stopping you from entering a relationship with God today? If there's nothing stopping you, if you want to trust in what Jesus did, if you want to be back in a relationship with God, back in His presence and living with Him eternally, talk to Him. Pray to Him right now. Let Him know that you want to be in a relationship with Him. You want your sins to be forgiven through what Jesus did for us. And then the lessons following this are going to be on the commands of Christ. So you can learn how you can have a closer relationship with God. You can learn how to please Him, how to follow Him, what His Word says about growing in your faith. And of course, please let me know what you decide and what questions you have. Do you need help getting here? If you're not here yet, if you need some help, if you have questions, that's what I'm here for. Let me know, because I want to have these conversations with you. So if you have these videos, you probably know me personally. And if you don't, then please leave a comment and we can get connected. But for now, please talk to God about this, and He will lead you in the right direction.